Hi all. So today we are going to see how to embed JavaScript program into your HTML page. So in the introduction part, what we have seen was how a JavaScript program will be rendering the HTML tags by using the document object model, and the root node that you had was document. And today we are going to see how to create a JavaScript program and how we can embed it in your HTML page. There are mainly two ways that you can embed the JavaScript program. One is the internal method, the other one is the external method. Internal method means you are going to embed the JavaScript program into your HTML page where the HTML tags are present. That is, you are going to embed it in between the HTML tags. And the second method is you can create a separate JavaScript file and you can link that file into your HTML page. So these are the two ways that you can embed the JavaScript program. So let's see how we can create JavaScript code in your HTML page. For that, I'm going to open up a Sublime Text. You can even use your Notepad Plus or Notepad Plus Plus, any editors to open the JavaScript program, or you can create JavaScript program in a normal Notepad Plus as well. So here, first thing, let me create a small HTML page, and I'm going to embed the JavaScript into this HTML page. So let's have a title here, that is a welcome title, and the second one, then I have the head part. I have to put the head part here. I'm closing the head part, and I have a body part in your body page here. That is, we are going to give h1 welcome to the JavaScript lecture, and it's a heading here. I'm closing the heading, and I'm just closing the body part as well, and then I have the HTML page. So I'm just closing that HTML as well. So we are going to save this program. I'm going to save it as HTML file, and in this HTML file I'm going to create the JavaScript. So here I have a folder called JavaScript. I'm saving it as first.html. So you have it here. So when you run this code, it's a normal HTML page that is written here, and the first.html is written as welcome to JavaScript program. So now I will tell you how we are going to embed the JavaScript code in your HTML page. So here we are going to follow the internal method first, and in the later lectures I will show you how we can create the external JavaScript file as well. So JavaScript code, normally you will be writing it inside two tags called script. You have to write the JavaScript code inside the script tab. Inside the script tag you have to write the JavaScript code, because we know that JavaScript is helps you to give programming capability to your HTML page. That is, it gives more user interactivity. So you have many objects, you have many classes, you have a lot of functions and all those things. You can use it in script tag. So if you are making it as a JavaScript, if you have to put it inside the script tag. So if you put it in the script, simply if you put the script tag also, it's fine. But normally what we will do is we will write it as type equal to text slash, if you're not giving this also, it will be working fine. So script.javascript, and if I want to write something onto my HTML page in the format of a JavaScript, so I will write as document.write, and I will talk about this input and output statements in the later lecture. For a sample code I'm using this document.write here, and here is my first JavaScript code. I'm just typing and printing it. In JavaScript, another important thing is you can put a semicolon, or you don't have to put it. It's an optional one for JavaScript. So you can put semicolon. You cannot, if you don't want, you don't have to put it. But I suggest you use semicolon so you can understand the end of that line in your scripting tag. So I've just created a small HTML page, and inside that HTML page I have embedded a JavaScript code, and in that JavaScript code I have written, like, here is my first JavaScript code. So let's run this program here. So we have first.html. So you can see that whatever you have typed it in here, it is running in the top, that the JavaScript code is written here. And one important thing is where we can embed this JavaScript code. So JavaScript code can be embedded anywhere in your program. You can put it inside your head part, or you can put it in your head part. I'm just putting it the same in the head part, and let's run this program again. You can see that there is no change because it can be put in the head part. You can put it in between the head and the body part, no issues. You can put it in between the head and the no body part, even it gives the same output. And also you can put it outside the HTML tag as well. That is wherever you want you can put it. If you put it outside the HTML tag, you can, it will work, so no problem. For embedding the JavaScript, you can put it. So if you're putting it outside the HTML tag, all the HTML tags will be rendered and then the JavaScript code will be executed. So I suggest you guys to put it outside the HTML page. It will be useful for you to understand where the JavaScript codes are. So that is how we are embedding the JavaScript. And I can also embed JavaScript as an external file. That means I am just going to cut this from your HTML page. I'm not going to put my JavaScript code in my, what about the topics that I have, I'm not going to put it inside the HTML page. So I will try to put it here. I'm just putting the script here, and whatever you have typed as JavaScript tags, you can put it in a separate file. So when you do that, we have to give the source file of that thing. So I'm just running here. I'm going to create a new Sublime text, and in that Sublime text I'm just writing document.write. This is the JavaScript code that is written here, document.write. And when I save it as external file, I am going to save it as first j.javascript. That is, you have to save it at JS file, first j.js, and you have to link this JS file with your JavaScript code. So we have to type it here. Type is equal to text slash JavaScript, and then you can write as, you have to give the source file src, that is equal to, what is the name, first j.js. so if you want, you can put it as js, or you can give it as first j. Source is equal to first j, and you can close the script. So you're not writing anything inside this JavaScript code, you're writing in those things as a separate file. You can see it, you are putting it as a separate file. So let's run this code once more. That is called, we call it as external embedding. Oh, just a minute. First j.js. You can see it here. So I'm just giving the JavaScript code and I'm linking the JavaScript. So whatever you are writing at the JavaScript, you can put it in the separate file. So if you want it here, you can put it as, you can write once more, document dot write, I am Kupu Darshan. See here. So I'm running this program once more. Oh, just a minute, we have to save it. We didn't save the file. Is there any issues? Oh, sorry, that's it. So that is the reason why there was an error here. So let's run this program. So you can see that both of them are written in your JavaScript page. And one other important thing that you can use is, you can use your HTML tags inside this document writing when you, if you want to align it. So I want to break this line, I can put a BR here, so it will be rendered as HTML, and we'll be typing this in a new line. So you can see here, right? So I am Gopu Darshan is in the new line. If you want to make this as heading, you can put it as heading here. So you have h1 and you can have the slash h1 ending here. So no problem with that. You can put your HTML, you can align it properly, or if you can style it according to the HTML inside the document, right? So that is what the basics thing about JavaScript is, how we can load a JavaScript code in your program. So I recommend you guys to put that scripting tag in a separate file, so you can be loaded properly. So it is going to render it line by line. So if you are going to put it outside this HTML page, all the HTML tags will be rendered, and then it will be rendering the JavaScript code. So you can see it here, the order that it is printing. Otherwise it will be rendering the JavaScript first, and then you are going to the HTML page, because you have the HTML rendering. You can go for document class. It will go for the document right here first, and it will be embedding it. So this is how we are using JavaScript in HTML page. And the second thing I'm going to talk about is something we commonly use in programming languages, that is JavaScript also supports variables. You have variables in JavaScript. So we know that the variables are those which can be used to store some values or data that the user give, or you can store values in your variables. So before moving to that variables, I will show you how we can comment in JavaScript. JavaScript support commenting option. Like in C, you can comment like this. This is a single line comment. So whatever you are typing it in double slash, it will be rendered. And if you want to comment multiple lines, you can go for something called slash star. This is multiple line comment, and you can end it like this, star slash. These are supported, like these are the comments that we commonly use in C language as well. So you can use the same here as well in the JavaScript code. So we can see that those will not be showed in your screen because those are all comments. So that is the next thing. That's the next thing, and we'll move to the variable part. So in JavaScript, we can store values in your program. So mainly JavaScript supports three types of values, that is data. Whenever you talk about variables, each variable will be storing values, and each value will have a type. That is, type means number, or is it a integer number, or is it a floating number. So JavaScript data types, I will comment this. In JavaScript, we have data types as well. There are mainly three data types that is supported in JavaScript. That is, the first data type is called as number, the second one would be Boolean, and the third one would be text. These are three data types that is commonly used in JavaScript. So number data type, it supports both integer and floating values. That is, you can put 2 or 2.5. So it supports both integer and floating values. Boolean, it supports true or false, and text, it supports characters and also strings. So these are the three data types that is supported in JavaScript. So all these data types can be declared by using two data types that we use. That is, the data types, they can be declared, or each variable can be declared by the keyword var or let. For example, I'm going to put a program here. I want to declare a variable which stores an integer value. So if I want to declare it as var x means x is a variable which is undefined. This is an undefined variable because you are not defined, because x, the variable in JavaScript are loosely typed, because whatever that value that you give to that variable will be the type that would be defined for that variable. So if here we are not giving any values here, so the data type would be undefined. So let's see how, let's check this data type part here. So I'm going to print the type of this variable now. I'm just going to print the type of the variable, document dot write of, I'm going to print type of the variable x. So I'm just printing the type of is a keyword which tells the data type of that particular variable. So let's run this program. So you can see that the data type that is defined is undefined. Here it tells like undefined because x is not assigned with any values. So if I'm giving like x is equal to 10, what it does is it will be displaying the data type of that variable. Now the variable x is defined, so you have the data type as number. So we know that number data type supports both floating and integer value. So if I give like 10.5, it will be defined as 10.5, it will be the same as number data type. And another important thing is, I told like variable is loosely typed. So think like in the next line, I'm going to write like x is equal to character C. If I write like this, character C, what happens here is initially it is defined as integer, but the second line is you're changing the data type, so it's loosely typed. Now let's see what the data type is printed here. It is printed as string. The reason is the last value that is assigned to the variable is C. So whatever the value that you assign to that particular variable, the data type changes. So here we have given it as string. Like that, if I give a value called true, I'm going to put it as true, and if I run this program, sorry, let's see, here we have true. So you can see that the data type that you see there is Boolean. So these are the different data types that you have in JavaScript. And next thing that you should understand is how you can name a variable. The variable that you are giving here, how we can name a variable. So JavaScript, there are some rules to define a variable. That is, a variable cannot start with number. So if I give like the 0x, 0x means it won't be taking that variable. The reason is, it is not, you cannot start a variable with a number, so you can remove that. And if I give like x space y, this is also not allowed, because you cannot have space between variables. You cannot have space between variables. So if you want to put this as a variable, you have to fill it with an underscore symbol. So this becomes a variable. This becomes a variable. So now it's an undefined because there is no values inside this. And the next thing that you should be very careful in JavaScript is you cannot use keywords as variables. So there are some keywords like document. Document is a keyword or class that you use in Java program. So you cannot write a variable like that, because you cannot use keywords or anything in JavaScript. You have to specifically give a variable like this, or you cannot put space, or you cannot start a variable with a number. So these are the ways you can define variables in JavaScript. So those are the rules that you have to be very careful. The variables, the first rule is cannot start with a number. Second, no space. You cannot provide space for a single variable name. No space. And the third thing that you cannot do here is you cannot use keywords as identifiers. You cannot use keywords there, but you can give underscore. Underscore symbol can be used in JavaScript. So these are the basic things that you have to know about variables. So when you define a variable, you cannot start that variable with a number, you cannot have space, you cannot use keywords, and you can use underscore symbol for fill the space and everything in your variable. So these are the basic thing that you have to understand in JavaScript. So one of the biggest thing is 3 types of data types are available: number, boolean, and then you have a text data type. And also number values can be integer or floating values. Text will be string or characters. Characters will also be taken as strings in JavaScript, and boolean means true or false. And there are some other user defined data types like objects, arrays, that we will see in the later lectures. So this is the basic thing about JavaScript, and today we have studied how to embed JavaScript in your HTML page. And the previous lecture I told how JavaScript is rendering the HTML tags using the document object model. So in the later lectures we will be studying how we can input our output data in your JavaScript, how we can perform arithmetic operations in JavaScript. All those things we will be studying in the later lectures. And thank you guys, thank you for listening to this session. Thank you all.